Okay, in this tutorial we're going to look at developing some code to search for a color. These colors will represent an animal that we are searching for. So we'll see how we go. So first of all, we need to set some counters. So one of the tasks is to actually look for like a color square, and we'll call it a particular color. So we're going to go to variables, and we're going to create a variable, and it's asking us what do we want to call it. Let's call it koala count. So this has now made a koala count, and we can actually set that to 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that, and then if we go into maths, we can actually find a value and we can set that to 0. So this has actually created a default value called koala count. From that, we can then start our loop. We know that our loop, we need to use a repeat while true, and we can keep doing this loop until we hit a break, and we can break out of this loop. But what we want to do is keep moving forward until we see the boundary wall. So this is the first part. You've got to remember to break the problem down to little pieces. So I know I need to search an area, so I'm going to keep going until I see a wall, and then I want to be able to turn. So let's put a logic in there, if then else. So I want to do something, and if something's true, then I'll do this, else I'll do this down here. So what I want to do is first of all is see if I can see the boundary. So I'm going to use a sensor, and the best one to see a boundary is going to be the ultrasonic. So I want to read from the ultrasonic. So I'm going to read the distance, and it says if the read ultrasonic, if that's less than, I'm going to set a distance. Let's leave it as 10 centimeters. So if the robot gets within 10 centimeters of the wall, I want to do something. At the moment, I'm just going to stop the motors. Okay. But I can turn left or turn right, and I can use some code in there to work out which way I should be turning. Or if there's a search pattern, I can actually start encoding the search pattern. Well, what happens if it doesn't see the wall? Well, this is where we're going to be looking for the color. So what I want to be able to do now is put in another if then else statement. So I'm going back to the logic and putting an if then else, and I'm just tagging that in there. And this time I can actually use a sensor, and I can use the read the hue from the middle. And once again, I can look for something. So say if I'm looking for a blue square, I know it's going to be in the value of 150. So I'm looking for something. If it goes greater than 150, I want it to do this part, else do something else. Now, how do I get this value of 150? Well, I need to go up to robot, and I need to go to robot sensor view. So let's connect to a robot. Once I've connected to the robot, I can then go to robot up on the menu bar and go to robot sensor view. On the table, it's getting a value in the middle sensor for hue. See hue, middle sensor, 103. So that's the middle one. The left one's reading 117, 118, and the right one's reading 111. But you need to make sure that you check those. Each robot will be different. So this is the value I'm looking for. So that's the desk. Now, if I place it on top of one of the blue squares, you'll notice that the value is 151, 152. So I'm just going to close that. So that's why I've selected if the value is greater than 150, which means it could be 151, 152, then I want to do something. Well, in this case here, I want to add one to the koala count. So if I go back into variables, I can go increase koala count by 1, which will actually increase that. And then the program would keep continuing on. Now, I can put another one in here, and I say, well, if it finds the blue square, do this, and I could put other activities in here for it to do as well. But I can also put another logic in there as well and say, well, if it sees a different color. So let's grab a different color, say green, and once again, I need to go to robot, and I need to go to sensor view, and green is 103. So I need to use the same code again and basically say, well, this time, if the color, so I'm just going to copy this in the Python side and paste it over the other one, and I'm going to use 100. So if it's greater than 150, do this, else if it's greater than 100, then it's going to do this part. And once again, I could set up another animal or some other counter, and I can place that in there. So what I'm going to do this time is just put a print statement in there. So I'm going to put print. I'm just going to change hello to found green. Now this doesn't do anything more than print. It doesn't count. It's just telling it to print, and it should come out here. And if it's none of those, what happens if it doesn't find any of that? Well, I want the robot to move. So I'm just going to get it to move forward, at a speed, and the best speed to move forward at is 10. That way it's not sprinting along. So this will keep going until it sees these elements. If it sees blue, it will count. If it sees green, it will print. So I've got the robot set up in a line, so I'm just going to run this code. At the moment, it's going print found green. So let's stop and go have a look at the robot sensor view. The desk is 104 and green is 103. So I need to change this and say, well, if this is less than or equal to 103. Let's see if the program works now. See, it's stepping through. It's now found the koala and it's stopped on the koala and it's not moving any forward. Now, the reason why it's not moving any forward is because we're increasing it by 1. We haven't given it any more instruction sets. So let's get it to move off the square by getting it to move forward 10 centimeters. So when it finds the blue square, it adds 1 to the count, then moves off. So let's have a look at this program again. Then it finds green, and then it stops the motors there. So, and you can see it says here found green, so I can do more things in here for found green. So what I want to do when it finds the green, let's just break out. So we're just going to go here and go break, and that will break us out of the loop. And then at the end, I want to print out what the koala count is. So let's go back to our variables. Or first of all, utility, grab print, and then variables, I want to print the koala count, and that should output the number of koalas that it sees. So here it increases it. So let's see what happens now. So it should find 1 for it. So let's run this and hit go.